Greetings, travelers! Who's ready for some Egypt trivia? This is episode 230 of the Dorky Geeky Nerdy Trivia podcast. I'm your host, Brian Rollins, and it's time for another country trivia episode. And it's one with a long history. We've covered other countries in past episodes, and we'll have more this season. If you're new to the show, welcome. Every week, DGN has 30 trivia questions on a different topic. Sometimes it's movies, TV, comics, or history. The sky's the limit for this show. If you'd like to learn more about us or how to support the show, visit dorkygeekynerdy.com. And with all that out of the way, let's begin. 'Tis the season to be podcasting. Stay inside with a warm beverage and a hot microphone. If you're interested, Spotify can help you out. They've got a platform that lets you make one, distribute it, and earn money, all in one place, for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So you've already got the equipment necessary to start recording today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify, Apple, Google, and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&A and polls are an excellent way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Best of all, it's completely free. I switched Dorky Geeky Nerdy over to Spotify for Podcasters, and I haven't regretted it. The analytics are fantastic, and the new tools for hosting and updating the feed are way more than I could do self-hosting. Now, it's your turn. Head to podcasters.spotify.com and read all about it. Then let me know what you are podcasting all about. The Dorky Round. Number 1. Of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, which is the only standing today? The Great Pyramids. They're also the oldest of the 7. Number 2. Which Egyptian queen killed herself with poison and not by being bitten by an asp? Cleopatra. Number 3. What 1978 treaty between Egypt and Israel was facilitated by President Jimmy Carter? The Camp David Accords. Number 4. Though missing its nose, what limestone sculpture from the 26th century BC is still a popular tourist attraction in Egypt? The Great Sphinx. Number 5. 90% of modern Egyptians practice what religion? Islam. It's the official religion of Egypt. Number 6. Ending in Egypt, what is considered the longest river in the world? The Nile River. Number 7. What is the official language of Egypt? Arabic. Number 8. What ancient Egyptian script gets its name from the Greek for sacred carving? Hieroglyphics. Number 9. What is the capital of Egypt? Cairo. Number 10. Egyptians used the rise and fall of the Nile River to create the first what? The first 365-day calendar. The Geeky Round. Number 1. What actor from Egypt starred in movies like Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago? Omar Sharif. Number 2. What man-made waterway connects the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea? The Suez Canal. Number 3. What landmass is bordered by the Mediterranean Sea, the Gulf of Suez, and the Gulf of Aqaba? The Sinai Peninsula. Number 4. The English name Egypt isn't from Egyptian, but rather from what other ancient language? Ancient Greek. Number 5. Made from granodiorite and rediscovered in 1799, what artifact allowed for the modern translation of Egyptian hieroglyphics? The Rosetta Stone. It was inscribed with text in both ancient Egyptian and ancient Greek. Number 6. What French leader invaded Egypt in 1798? Napoleon Bonaparte. While the French didn't stay long, the invasion began the modern era of European imperialism. Number 7. What country, currently undergoing a civil war between warlords, borders Egypt to the south? Sudan. Number 8. What is Egypt's second largest city? Alexandria. It's the largest city on the Mediterranean coast. Number 9. You'll find the Great Pyramids and the Great Sphinx next to what Egyptian city of over 4 million people? Giza. Number 10. What country borders Egypt to the west? Libya. The Nerdy Round. Number 1. The ancient city of Thebes can be found inside what modern Egyptian city? Luxor. Number 2. Between the 16th and 11th centuries BC, Where were pharaohs and nobles buried? The Valley of Kings. Number 3. What Egyptian president was the first Muslim to win the Nobel Peace Prize? Anwar Sadat. He shared the prize with Israeli President Menachem Begin. Number 4. The 2011 Egyptian Revolution ousted what longtime president of Egypt? Hosni Mubarak. He had been president for 40 years. Number 5. Who was the last monarch of Egypt? Fuad II. He was deposed in 1953 when he was only 1 year old. He's still alive and lives in exile, but visits Egypt occasionally. Number 6. What war lasted from June 5th to June 10th, 1967? Don't overthink it. It's the 6-Day War. A coalition of Arab states, Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, clashed with and lost territory to Israel. Number 7. Who was the father of Cleopatra's oldest child? Julius Caesar. Caesarion ruled Egypt until he was put to death by Augustus Caesar. Number 8. Translated into English, what was the ancient Egyptian name for the country? Black Land, most likely a reference to the fertile soil around the Nile. Number 9. Which of the pyramids in Egypt is the largest? The Pyramid of Khufu. Number 10. Which pharaoh ruled for 60 years and had over 90 children with his 8 wives and nearly 100 concubines? Ramses II. And we're back from the desert. How did you fare? I know people have asked for Egyptian mythology, along with other mythologies, but those are hard to lock down as to what's a right answer. But we'll see if I can sort something out. What's your take on this episode? Let me know on social media or Spotify. Have you ever been to Egypt? Or do you live there and listen to the show? I want to hear from you. Egypt is on my bucket list. The ancient architecture fascinates me. I'll be back here next week with another episode. Here's a clue. What character, debuting in 1981, was inspired by the adventure serials of the 1930s and 40s? Kind of related to today's episode when you think about it. I'll see you back here next Wednesday. This was episode 230 of the Dorky Geeky Nerdy Trivia Podcast. The music is by Jason Shaw at audionautics.com. This podcast was written, produced, and hosted by me, Brian Rollins. You can find me at thevoicesinmyhead.com. Thanks for listening. Immortality isn't just about living forever. Sometimes it's about forever refusing to let things die. For his 15th birthday, David Rose wishes for things to go back to the way they were. He wants the nightmares to end, the bullies to leave, and the claustrophobic memories of his near drowning to disappear, not to mention his surreal encounter with a mythical creature. He stands with his little sister Rachel in front of their mother's grave and pledges to seek the truth about what really happened on that terrible evening a year ago. But this quest for truth threatens to unleash a sinister plot centuries in the making. David must awaken in time to the incredible truth, to his newfound powers, and to the realization that to protect his family and survive in a world he's always known, he must come to grips with the dark secrets of a world he never knew existed. Evolved Publishing presents an extraordinary adventure through time, an epic tale of hesitant heroism, and the timeless battle between good and evil, in the first book in the David Rose series of young adult fantasies. The Awakening of David Rose, written by Daryl Rothman and narrated by Brian Rollins. Available now on Audible, iTunes, Spotify, and more.